family, like some family members are on statin medications and shit, my mom's side. And they prescribed me statin medications,
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck that shit. I don't want to do that. They have like crazy side effects, crazy bad side effects.
Oh, yeah.
And I had read some studies that for some people, not everybody, but some people, the ketogenic diet actually lowers people's cholesterol.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's try this instead. And I gave that a shot. And then within 1 month, I went back in for another physical, and they said my cholesterol was normalized,
Wow.
Right? And I didn't have to take the drugs. And then, but I started feeling better. I liked the way I felt.
We're hot, live. Let's go, bro. How's your day going?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, bro.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah.
This is fire, man. So if you guys don't know, this is King Keto, Brandon Carter, right?
Brandon Carter. Gymnasium Jesus.
Let's go.
Jesus de Gimnasio para mi gente. The king of ketosis.
Bro,
or just Brandon Carter.
So let's just jump right in. First off, how's your day going?
Man, it's going fantastic. I just been working all day, and this was on the calendar, and I live close, so you made it super convenient for me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, perfect, bro. So what did the routine look like today? When wake up, what'd you get to doing and everything like that?
I wake up, normally 5:30 or 6:30 now, depending on what time I went to sleep, and then I wake up. I usually the first 30 minutes is kind of fucking trash. You know what I'm saying? Like the first 30 minutes of my day. So I kind of organize what I'm going to do today on my to-do list. I organize it and I see what's on the calendar. And I just spend the first 30 minutes doing that. Then some people like work out as soon as they wake up, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I just get to work. So then I shower, then I get to work. Then I train my students today for one of my coaching businesses.
Yeah.
Helping them grow their online fitness business. And that's always super good, super dope, super rewarding.
Yeah.
And then I went to the gym. Then I just did some other like admin shit. It was like boring work today. And then then I came here with you, man.
When do you start getting protein in? It looks like you take in like 300 grams of protein a day or something.
Like more like 250.
Okay.
But yeah, like probably as soon as I wake up, I drink some protein shakes. Yeah.
Okay, so just protein shakes.
Yeah, protein shakes.
When do you start physically eating some protein?
Man, I probably don't eat food until around noon.
Yeah.
It's probably I probably have some more protein shakes later on in the day.
Yeah.
So the reason I can get so much protein with keeping my calories low is because of the shakes.
Okay.
Like that's the only thing that's like
That
special
makes
about
sense.
it, right?
Yeah,
The protein to calorie ratio.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Okay, so let's take it back for a second. So where were you born and raised?
Southside Chicago. You from Chicago too, right?
I was in Chicago for 3.5 years, so I just say I'm partly from Chicago.
Okay.
I'm not from Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. Now I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Yeah.
And so mom, dad met in Chicago.
Yeah, they met in Chicago. They had me. You know what's funny, man? It's just an interesting story. So like we grew up. I mean, nobody chooses to live on the south side of Chicago because they're rich, right? So we grew up, kind of poor, actually really poor. And my dad, he lived with us, right? And my parents were married, but I ain't seen him a lot because he was like busy trying to get his business started, trying to get it just going. He's just struggling, trying to make it work. And then fast forward a few years, I get sent away to military school for high school because I got in some trouble, just normal shit, like skipping school, fights, shootouts, normal shit. And then I got sent away to military school. And around like my second year of high school, his business started to take off, right? But this is like 16 years, more than that, right? Because he started before I was born.
Yeah. 16
years. Like I'm telling you, we didn't even have a car when I was little, And it finally started to work. His business. By the time I graduated from high school, he was making $3 million a year, right? But you got to remember that was in 2000, right? So that would be equivalent to $8 million a year in today's money. And then I went to college, Howard University, School of Business. And by the time I graduated, he had lost all the money. He fucked it all up. And then like a year or two after that, he committed suicide.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was cool. What really inspired me was there's a lot of lessons there, right? So one, if you're persistent, you can make it, right?
Yeah.
How many people would have quit after the first year or the second year?
Yeah.
But he was like 16, 17 years grinding, finally made it work, and then it worked. But the other lesson is, he kind of, once he started making money, he started indulging in the fruits of his labor a little bit. Not a lot, like too much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember one time I came home from college, he was like, yeah, I just bought a Cadillac random today. He's a Southside Chicago motherfucker.
Yeah. Put it on some big wheels.
Yeah. You just bought a Cadillac. Like, all right, bro. I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm over here thinking, man, I don't know. That's a wise financial investment there. He's like, nah, man, we getting money. He never went to college. He didn't even graduated from high school. You know what I'm saying? So he's still like a street dude, but he figures shit out. So what it told me was, all right, once you start making money, it's like you got to keep doing what got you there.
Yeah.
You can't take your foot off the gas because there ain't no amount of money you can't fuck up.
So literally,
yeah. So like
a lot of business.
There's a lot of lessons, but the main thing is, like a lot of parents, they tell the kids you can be whatever you want, right? You can be whatever you want. But this motherfucker, a bus driver, or this motherfucker janitor, and I'm not trying to talk shit about bus drivers or janitors. We need them, right? But what I'm saying is, if you tell your kid they can be whatever you want, one or two things are gonna happen. They're gonna be like, they're either gonna look, if you haven't became what you really want to do, they're gonna look at you and say, man, that's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna look at you like, damn, if they believe you, they're gonna be like, oh man, that's all you wanted, man? That's all you wanted?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
Like, damn, that's all you wanted? So, but when my dad said it, I fucking believed it.
Yeah.
Cause I watched him do it. Like a lot of people when I coach, they have, how do I explain it? They have a lot of self-limiting beliefs, man, that, get inherited from parents or their environment,
Yeah.
And because of my dad, I saw what he did. I saw him do it, even though it ended tragically and we had to start over from nothing, I saw him do it and I was like, oh, I had like overconfidence. Oh, if he can do it, he ain't even graduated from high school. We got the same DNA. I got more advantages than he had, I got, college degree, it's fuck. If he can do it with his background, like he was an orphan, he didn't even know his parents and shit, Yeah. And if he can do it, then fuck, man, what can I do? Now that I got, I'm in a better situation than him. So I was like, I never had those self-limiting beliefs. I think that was the best gift he gave me. Like I never had no self-limiting beliefs. If anything, overconfidence was probably my biggest problem.
And I guess there's pros and cons to that as well. But
yeah,
we're gonna die in the
I mean,
pros.
I'd rather make a mistake of audaciousness than a mistake of timidity.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. Now, my boy took his life a couple years ago. Like
Sorry
right when I first started and opened up my first franchise ownership insurance business. It was a weekend. Get the call. What was that? I remember that like that night, like yesterday. What was that experience for you like? And
man, it's because he was my hero. He was like my best friend, right? So it really fucks with you. It really fucked with me because he was like my dog. Like I looked up to him. And so someone who you base your life principles on. When they ends like that, it kind of fucks with your worldview. It's like, oh, is everything I fucking learned bullshit? But for me, obviously it was difficult. Obviously, right? But I think I took on a responsibility. Is like, okay, now I'm head of the family. Right now I got to start. I got to support everybody. Like my mom was still on the South Side, you know what I'm saying? Like, and even though he had made some money, he stayed in the hood,
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, now I gotta take care of everybody. My mom, my grandma, sister, her kid, So I got to hold it down. So I just immediately started working. I ain't really taken a whole lot of time to throw myself a pity party or shit like that. I just started working. Now, mind you, how old are you?
26.
Okay, you don't know shit about what I'm about to say. In 2008, the economy was so bad. It was the worst recession since the Depression.
Yeah.
Right? We had record unemployment. So I had a college degree. I couldn't get a good job. Right? Because everybody was laying people off.
Yeah.
So I just like, fuck it, man. I ain't gonna be a bitch. I just started working. So I started waking up at like 4 a.m. at the time. And I would train people in the morning because I had been a trainer since I was like 17. I would train people in the morning. Then Then I shower at the gym and I work security at the Prada store. That's why I like wearing Prada now, because I work security at the Prada store for 8 hours. Then I worked for my boy's moving company after that, and that was like 5 days a week. And then after that, on the weekends, I would wake up and train people in the morning, and then I worked at a restaurant in Queens. I was the weekend manager at a restaurant in Queens, and that was like 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week for like 2 years straight. You know what I'm saying? But what's dope is I made like $100,000 each year. Like working regular ass jobs during the recession. That's why I was like, oh man, ain't nothing I can't do. 2008, 2009.
So probably damn near close to like maybe 200 in today's economy.
Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, yeah. But I was working like 6 figures. I don't think it's that much. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's that much. But maybe.
But $100,000 a day is like you
yeah. But it was like, yo, it was it just let me know, man, oh shit, I took the fucking the worst life can throw at me. You know what I'm saying? Dead, economic collapse, you know? Literally. And I still fucking prevailed. Yeah. And that gave me a lot of confidence going forward. You know?
Did you get a Cadillac?
Nah, I ain't got a car now.
So, and I want to segue into that real quick, because I will see guys start to generate cash flow in the online coaching space and e-commerce space, and then immediately start to like go hardcore on taking all that money and flex. And it helps them generate more sales, because a lot of people surface level, they see the shiny object and like, I want to have that life.
Yeah, there's a part of that I think is for marketing purposes that is effective. You know, that's never been my main strategy, just because I didn't start like buying expensive shit until I was making enough money from like my assets to pay for it. Yeah. Like this watch was my assets, like my investments paid for.
Your investments, your passive
for all that shit, you know? Yeah. So that's why, you know, I was making over $1 million a year when I was living in New York, but I was still living in.
Where did you learn this, bro? Like obviously you have Howard Business School. Yeah. Was it from the business school, or was it from the pain of seeing your dad?
I mean, you know, it was from, not so much that from school. I learned a lot of school. Like I thought school was dope. I know everybody online, it's cool to say don't go to school. Yeah. But I thought that shit was fucking awesome.
Zuckerberg went to school.
Bro, I thought that shit was amazing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like at Howard, there was, I don't know what it's like now, but when I was there, it was 12 girls for every guy. Yeah. So I was like super excited to go.
The ratio is very,
especially coming from successful, a all boys military school. Oh, I was like, shit, I need it, you know? And so I was super excited to go. And I learned a lot, man. Like Larry Ellison came and taught a class. Wow. Yeah, man, no bullshit. It was dope to me. I had internships with Abbott Laboratories, when you know, they're based outside of Chicago. And I did sales internships for them every summer. Okay. Like lived in there fucking, I learned that shit.
You got a lot of exposure.
Yeah. But I read a lot. Like I would read a lot.
Yeah, I saw something about speed reading.
Yeah. I took a speed reading course in my 20s. And at one point, it's not this fast now, but I got my reading speed up to like 600 words a minute. So I was just read a whole lot of this shit. And one of the books, you know, I learned some of this summer was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Right. Like we later find out that he made the whole story up, but it's still good. Hey man,
even more kudos to the dude for making up such a great story.
It's still some real shit in there, right? Facts. And I learned that, but it's one thing to hear something, it's another thing to see what happens when it doesn't. That was my dad. Yeah, like 'cause he didn't have no investments. He was making a bunch of money and he fucking blew it all, fucked it all up.
I went through that a little bit. Luckily, like, and I guess in perspective it's a bunch of money, but it's like I put a couple million on 1099s the last couple of years, but I didn't go out and buy like stupid stuff, but I didn't throw it in any investments. So when I left my old company to start my new company, it's just all cash depleted into my new business. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like I've seen other guys, they made less money than I did. I guess I know one guy in my mind, 'cause it's not like everybody's doing this. Yeah. And he went out and got some properties. And so like if he left, he's cool. I left my sales team too. Yeah. So now it's me rebuilding this new business with my girl. But
you know, initially I was investing everything in my business before I was buying other assets, right? Because that's where I feel like I can get the highest return. Yeah. You know,
I put everything into my brand and told myself, I'm building the podcast. I put probably close to $1 million, I think, in this podcast, paying people, flying out, media teams and things like that.
I mean, that's business can be an asset as well, right? Because initially I wasn't doing no like stock or real estate. It was just putting it all back in my business, because the S&P's average return is what, 10% a year, right?
Yeah.
But listen, I know I can look at my Facebook ads manager and I know it's, oh man, 3x return on ad spend. I'm like, oh shit, like that's where I should put the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I could, and I just kept reinvesting in business for a long time.
Yeah, but then starting to diversify.
And then I started, at some point it gets to the point where it's like you can only, anybody who like ran ads like at a high level, you can't just keep throwing money at ads. It doesn't. It doesn't work
like a diminishing
like that.
return.
Yeah, I wish it worked like that, but it doesn't work like that. There's different. You got to keep refreshing creatives. There's ad fatigue. Sometimes if you pump the budget up too much too fast,
your CPO.
It's like you'll fuck everything up. So there's more to it than that.
I've seen you post a couple students, and I feel like it's a great opportunity to highlight some of them.
Yeah.
Who's some of your top income earning students?
Yeah. There's one dude named Corey Armstrong. When he I didn't know that, he told me later, but when he joined my program, High Ticket Trainer, he was in Detroit.
Yeah.
And he like spent all his money, like his last bit. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know he spent all his money. He told me he had to go on like a 2-day fast or some shit. He was like, well, I guess I'm cutting now.
Yeah.
But fast forward, he made enough money to move out of Detroit. Thank God. Right now he live in Miami, and he bought his mom a new crib, new house, and he's making like $600K a year as just an online trainer.
Yeah.
Right. No fucking brand endorsements. He ain't selling T-shirts or no shit like that. He ain't posing with the protein powder on his ass or no shit like the host. Like he really just made off of online training $600,000 last year. There's another chick named Kelly Nicole Fit, and she was in college. She was going to college in Jersey when I met her, and she said her goal when she joined the program was to not have to get a real job.
Yeah.
When she got out of college. Right. So I was like, all right, but she was starting. She had never really trained anyone before, right? So anyway, she joined the program, and within the first year, she had got her income up to like 15, 20K a month.
Yeah.
Right. So she graduated from college. She just went in that full time. This was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Last year, she made $1.5 million.
See, that's the one.
Trainer.
I was like, I seen you post some girl make
1.5 million.
1.5, and I was like,
there's a few. We've made about 10 millionaires, right?
Yeah.
Now I've had 15,000 students, but only 10 of them have become a millionaire, right? Because it takes a fucking lot. But we've had like thousands have made like 10K a month.
Yeah.
5-10K a month, a good living, right? But you got to be super dedicated and focused to get to it. Making $1 million a year, man, I don't think people understand how much it takes. Most people would probably be happier with a few $100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, because making $1 million, making $1 million plus a year, in my experience, it takes everything. Ain't no easy way to do it.
Yeah, there is no easy way. And usually the easy way comes with like a scary tax bill when you cut corners, or you know what I mean? Like, it usually just lose it. You know what I mean? It comes and it goes.
If you want extreme success like that, man, you can't be balanced. There's no balance in that. No. You got to be an extremist. Extreme success comes from extreme actions. It can't really happen no other way.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Is there? You give me the type of vibe that your student success is probably some of the most fulfilling things like in your life.
No, it's super dope, because the reason I got into training when I was a trainer is because I saw how it changed people's lives. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I saw how, oh shit, these people's whole personalities change.
Yeah.
When somebody lose weight or get in shape, they become like better people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're like nicer. They seem happier. They're better husbands, wives, parents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I kind of fell in love with not just the physical transformation, but like the personality transformation, the inner work that happens when you train somebody's body. But with income, it's like we can do it like faster.
Yeah.
Because, we can do it faster. So it's like I get that times a lot. And then they do that to their clients.
Yeah.
It's super dope. Yeah.
That's incredible, bro.
Mm-hmm.
When did you decide to go on all ketosis diet?
Oh, the ketogenic diet? You know what happened, man? I took I had to get some sort of physical.
Yeah.
For insurance or some shit, right? And
well,
and
I can't sell insurance.
Yeah, and they said my cholesterol was a little high.
Yeah,
and it runs in my family. Like some family members are on statin medications and shit. On my mom's side, And they prescribed me statin medications, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, and I was like, fuck that shit. I don't want to do that. They have like crazy side effects, crazy bad side effects.
Oh, yeah.
And I had read some studies that for some people, not everybody, but some people,
Yeah.
the ketogenic diet actually lowers people's cholesterol.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, let's try this instead. And I gave that a shot. And then within 1 month, I went back in for another physical, and they said my cholesterol was normalized, you know?
Wow.
Right. And I didn't have to take the drugs. And then, but I started feeling better. I liked the way I felt.
Yeah.
Of it. You know, I was leaner because you immediately lose water weight.
Yeah.
Right, when you're on keto, right? You can still eat carbs and be in shape. Like people get mad at me when I talk about keto. Like man, it's all good, man. If you want to eat carbs, all good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't give a fuck what nobody else eats. It's not none of my fucking business, you know. But you can be in great shape and eat carbs if you want. And I was in great shape when I ate carbs, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't do it for body composition reasons. I do it because I feel better. I'm sharper.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? I haven't had a cold in 8 years.
Wow.
Not cold. My girl had COVID 3 times. I'm kissing her in the mouth, eating off her plate, having unprotected sex with her and shit. And I ain't even test positive, bro.
Yeah.
Like straight up, there's studies that show that the ketogenic diet boosts immune system.
Yeah.
Like significantly.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, kids are always sick.
Yep.
My son be sick, fucking wiping snot on me and shit. And I don't get sick. His mom be sick.
Yeah.
From him, I don't get sick.
Yeah.
I haven't had a cold in 8 years, homie. 8 years. Imagine if you did something and you didn't get sick for 8 years, would you stick with it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
bro.
that's what, I'm not saying it'll be like that for everyone. The studies, everything's hypothetical until you apply it to your own life. Some people die if they eat a peanut, right? It won't happen for everybody. For me, that's a fact. People, it slows down the aging process.
Oh yeah.
You know, they put like animal models, right?
Yeah.
Those when they put like animals on it, they live longer and they live healthier lives.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know, people say I look younger than 42.
Yeah. 1,000%.
You know, thank you.
Yeah. 1,000%.
You know,
bro.
so it's good for your skin. There was this one kid, he was making fun of me. He had like a video. It got a lot of views, and he was talking shit about me. He said the keto diet was bullshit. But he had like a bunch of fucking acne. I was like, man, if you just did it,
Yeah.
you know, there's something that will cure this.
I swear, I feel like nothing controls the quality of your skin. Because like if I sneak a cookie or something like that, and like a little pimple or something pop out, I'm like, damn, I wonder if it's the sugar.
Oh, 100% is the sugar.
You know what I
There's
mean?
studies
I'm
that show that, right? 100% is the sugar because it causes inflammation.
Yeah.
And that's what your skin is inflamed. Your skin is an organ, right? So it's inflammation.
Yeah, bro.
But if you're on keto, there's no inflammation. I remember I wore a continuous glucose monitor for like a month.
Yeah.
And every day I checked the app that was connected to it.
Yeah.
And it said, are you fasting today? Like it thought I was fasting every day because my glucose levels were so low and stable.
Yeah.
You know?
Gally just got one of those. So every morning,
Yeah.
pokes her finger. She
she pokes her, she's not continuous.
Okay, But obviously having that continuous one, sticking that thing in there,
Check it all day.
it's way,
I
it's
just
way
wanted to
better
get some
because it goes to
data.
the phone. Yeah.
I just want to get some data. And
it's good though, because sometimes I'll see people on there and they might be a little chunky, but sometimes I'll see like guys, girls, and they'll be like just ripped. You know what I mean? But the biggest thing is the quality of life because you're just stabilizing that sugar level all day.
Yeah, I'm probably sacrificing some gains being on keto, right? Because, well, I don't know, right? Because I've read studies that show that, you know, it didn't negatively affect muscle growth, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, just when I think about it, you know, if your insulin is never spiked, insulin is an anabolic hormone, right?
Yeah.
So I'm probably leaving some gains on the table, you know?
Yeah, but
And I probably would be, like, I'm not flat, but my muscles would probably be more plump if I was retaining more water and shit, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just, life's a game of trade-offs.
Yeah, and it depends on like kind of what you want too. Like I like kind of my size. I think we're around like the same weight. I'm 190 right now.
Yeah, I'm like 200.
Yeah, so like I like mobility. Like
We're
if
probably
you got
about the same because I'm a little tall. How tall
yeah,
are you?
you're talking. I'm 5'10".
Yeah, I'm like 6'2", right? So like it's probably about the same amount of muscle. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, bro. But like I think to myself, like I like mobility because I'm always thinking in regard to like if shit were to pop off, odds of a fight popping off are like slim, especially in Miami. People are just shooting whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
but
not
like,
about
I
to
still
wrestle
like
with these motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's like, bro, but I still it's like mobility. Like if you need to like run, evade, get your girl and get your family out of a situation, like if you're 260 pounds, you know what I mean? I'm just like absolute, you can't even turn around, bro. Like you might be able to run 5 feet.
I've been like 215 is the biggest I've ever been.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It'd be hard to like look around, your neck be hurting from looking over
you
the
know,
place.
when I'm running around with my son, like I can feel the extra weight.
Yeah.
You know, like my heart feels it. You know, and maybe I'd grow accustomed to it. You know, but I don't know. I like around 200 is a good weight. For
yeah,
me.
yeah. So, is there? I mean, when it comes to kind of being on that ketogenic diet, is there some favorite foods you like? You probably get
steak.
Okay, yeah, steak.
Steak.
Ribeye, you like the ribeye
yeah,
cut?
ribeye. Yeah,
that's my cut. I like the ribeye.
because it's fatty and it's good. So I eat a lot. I eat a lot of meat and vegetables, like green leafy vegetables.
Yeah.
You know, that works for keto, you know.
I do the ribeye and I do lamb chops.
Yeah, lamb chops go hard.
I eat that all day. Ground beef, lamb chops. I do the air fryer for my ribeye. Have you ever tried that?
Nah, we have one, but my girl have used it a few times, man.
Yeah.
She don't really cook that much. Like we order or eat out almost every meal.
Where do you like to get a steak from?
Mastro's is my favorite steakhouse in the world.
Have you had Nooser ET right down there in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
I love their ribeye cap.
It's good. It's good.
Incredible.
It's good. You had that Mastro's ribeye though?
I don't feel like I have. Is it better than there's? I feel like there's.
Better.
I've had Poppy steak, Carbone. Everybody's ribeye.
Mastro's is This is one in every city, and they're all fucking great. Every real city.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ain't one in Springfield, Illinois. You know, but Mastro's is that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I lived in Manhattan, I used to just walk over there for lunch by myself and get a ribeye.
So will you DoorDash one? You can DoorDash.
You can DoorDash. Yeah, I've done it. I've done it. But I like to go. Like my girl. Gets dressed.
Yeah.
You just like to go out. And
Yeah.
shit,
1000%. 1000%. Okay, so I see you. You be traveling and everything like that, and you have a son, right?
Yeah.
So what all are you trying to instill into your son that you feel like your dad instilled into you?
Yeah.
But you're obviously a modified version. You learn what to do from your dad and what not to do.
Yeah.
So what's the game plan?
My game plan is for each generation to be better. My goal is to do better and obviously make it end better than my dad, right?
Yeah.
But to be a better version of him, he started with nothing. Again, he was a mother. Like when I think about him, even though his shit ended in tragedy, he was still a G, man. Like he came from nothing, bro.
Yeah,
like, he didn't even know his parents.
Yeah.
He's a fucking orphan ass motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
Didn't graduate from high school, gang leader.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
respect.
just fuck, and he made something happen. So like, okay, he set me up to have better advantages than him, even though we still grew up poor.
Yeah.
I missed the whole wealth again because I was gone.
Yeah.
I was in military school and then I was in college. We was poor when I went to military school and then we was poor again when I graduated.
Yeah.
But I knew it happened, right? So I had, he paid for my college. That was one thing.
Okay.
Right? So I didn't have no debt.
That's a blessing.
Yeah. So so he set me up to have, so I didn't start from as low as he started.
Yeah.
You know? And my son, he set up to start, at a higher level than me.
Yeah.
Right. So that's. I just want him. I want to be a better version of my dad, and I want my son to be a better version of me. So some of the lessons is little shit right now, because he's 7.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like he can't. He's still watching Bluey and motherfucking Paw Patrol and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like little shit. Like he read. This was like years ago, man. He like read this tattoo. It says "Relentless."
Yeah.
I read because I got this after it was weird. I read the book "Relentless" by Tim Grover.
Yeah.
Right. He used to train Jordan and him. And before I read that book, I remember people were telling me, man, you need to relax, man. You work too much. You got to enjoy life. And for a second, I thought, man, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I do need to chill. And I was kind of like doubting myself a little. And I read the book, nah, these motherfuckers are wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I just got this.
I'm about to double down.
And so he read it. He was like, relentless. What does that mean? I mean, oh man, that means you never give up, man. That means no matter what, you keep going. Yeah. And he said, am I relentless? I said, of course you are, man. You come from a long line of relentless men.
Yeah.
From me, my dad. In fact, we're descendants of the slaves who escaped slavery, and where they go? Chicago.
Yeah.
That's where they went. Chicago, man. He was men who refused to be held in bondage, who look death in the eye rather than be in shackles.
Yeah.
They put it all on the line for their freedom.
Yeah.
And they went to Chicago, and we descendants of them, man. So, of course you relentless. And then, he'll be like playing and don't give up. be relentless. I'm like, all right, he hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Little shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's just things like don't give up. You know, there was one time we were at there's a mall that we go to because there's a Lego Discovery, little Lego place in this mall, and so I got him on my neck. So we walking around like that's his preferred travel method, on my neck. My fault, man.
No, you straight, bro.
That's just an alarm. And I have him on my neck, and then I walk past the Omega store. I like watches, right? So I go in there for a second, and I got my son on my neck, and I'm looking at this watch, and it's kind of cool, you know. I was looking for a more low-key watch to wear when I went with my son, you know, because I want the likelihood of me having to shoot a motherfucker when I'm with my son to be lower. I want to lower the likelihood of having to shoot somebody in front of my son over a watch. So I was looking for a more low-key watch at Omega. And I was like, okay, this one is cool. How much is this? He said like 10 grand. And my son was like, $10,000 for a watch. That's too much money. I took him off my head. I said, hey, listen. Never say nothing is too much, right? You know what I'm saying? You can have anything you want if you work hard enough for it. Yeah. If you're willing to put in work, there's nothing you can't have. You know, it's just little shit, little stuff like that.
Hard.
And then I know he retained that because we was I was buying him a keyboard in Guitar Center, and he was like started fucking with like some expensive girl. Like, yo, don't fuck with that. I'm like, don't mess with that. It's too expensive. And he was like, you said we can have anything you want if you work hard. I was like, okay. You're like, all right. I mean, but we don't want to break it. You know what I'm saying? But I was glad that he retained it. So it's like little lessons like that. I just try to make sure I drop jewels on him right now because he's still so young, you know, but you remember some of these things, you know?
Do you think kids learn more by watching or by hearing? Because obviously you showing the game, you know what I mean? Like inside and out.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. You know, he doesn't know that I got money. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he can't. I don't think he can comprehend what it means. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There'll be little shit. Like I took him to Disney World, and we had like the extra VIP, like above the fast pass, right? Like we get in front of everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like with no lines. And I think he knew that wasn't normal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then I took him to Lego Lego. They got a park in Orlando, like Lego Land in Orlando. And we had the VIP, so we had the same kind of shit. We had a guide taking us around, jumping in front of every line. You know what I'm saying? And I think he knows that's not normal. But, you know, he flew first class. I don't know if he knows that's normal. I don't know. He's never flown coach. Yeah.
How do you think you're going to keep the balance of the appreciation, the gratitude that you grew up in that he'll never really experience?
I don't know if that's necessary, man. You know, because we hear about kids who don't appreciate it, but those are the only ones we hear about. Yeah. Like I've met some kids who came from wealth who are like hard workers and like, geez, like one of my boys, Canada dude named Gregor Gallagher. Like his dad was like Donald Trump of Canada, you know, but he still goes hard. Yeah. He still works hard. He still built his own thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Donald Trump. Like
Donald Trump. Literally, when you said that, I was like, shit.
Yeah, like Donald Trump got a we only hear I mean, he had a huge head start. His dad was a multimillionaire, right?
And all his kids seem kind of grateful. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, man. It's like I mean, obviously, I'm still figuring it out, but I know it's not impossible. Like some people say, no, I'm gonna make my son struggle in the hood. I'm like, nah, man, you ain't gotta. Especially like you kind of black, right? Yeah. You have
you kind of black. You kind of black. Now we're gonna just cut that.
We both kind of black, right? And so like, you know, most of us who make it, like we had to start from nothing. Yeah. Right? Imagine if you don't have to start from nothing. Yeah. Right? You get motherfuckers like Donald Trump. Right? That Donald Trump is what happens when you don't start from the bottom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You become a billionaire and maybe, you know, like so that's I move, and I'm not trying to get political at all. I'm just saying, like, it's a good example. Like, they did something right. Yeah, 1,000%. You know what I'm saying?
1,000%.
And that's what I'm working on, and just making sure he's a good person too. You know, like that's super important to me, man. Make sure he's kind to people, treating people right, not being an asshole. You know, and And they do learn by watching. So like he sees me like letting women off the elevator first.
Yes.
You know, I try to make sure, you know, I mean, I do all that anyway, but it's like little stuff like that. Thank you, even being nice to waiters and shit. You know, like he's never seen me get made. You know, me and his mom are divorced, but he ain't never seen us like get into a fight or argument. You know what I'm saying? Like, or no shit like that.
Yeah.
Even when we was together, he was like little, he ain't see that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just they're setting the right examples for him. Like he never heard us yell at each other or no shit like that. You know.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I seen guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you become Jimi Hendrix?
Like when I was younger, man, all my life I thought I was gonna be a professional musician.
For real?
Yeah, I played keyboard since I was a kid and drums. Like in military school, I was in the marching band. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I played the drums, and I started playing guitar when I was like 23.
Yeah.
I'm 42 now. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's just for me though. It's like not some shit I'm trying to make a YouTube's about.
Guitars get expensive too. I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
And like the worship band, they would flex their guitars and they'd be like, it's almost $5,000.
You can get some expensive guitars.
Taylor
I
guitar.
have two $5,000 guitars. They were gifts.
Yeah. And some of them, bro, I went to Nashville once. Some are like, there's something about live music that just, like it's different. It's almost like a spiritual experience. Yeah. Like when somebody can really like play an instrument or something like that. Like my girl can play the piano, like almost like in a sense of like self-taught. Like she can hear something and start like playing.
Oh, that's
it.
dope.
And so it's like, but it's like different when you like see somebody like do that like live experience. I remember growing up, my parents were obsessed with like Ray Charles. And they would like watch the Ray Charles, and it was like it just to imagine that and kind of listening to some of like his like old like music and like thinking to myself like it goes to show in like regard to like relentlessness. You think of somebody like a Ray Charles that's blind, or a Stevie Wonder that's blind, and to develop that level of like just talent, you know what I mean, and skill is like music is different. It's like it's another language in a sense.
Yeah, you know, I've read this that there's only a few proven ways to raise IQ.
Yeah.
Right. And learning another language is one way, and learning instruments way. You know what I'm saying? So
I could see that.
Yeah. So,
I can see that.
I mean, I didn't do it for those reasons. I just,
you just enjoyed
liked
it.
Music. Yeah.
Yeah. You just enjoyed it.
But it was like a way. I used to be signed to Sony Records as a rapper.
For real?
Yeah, in 2004. Like, so when I was in college, one of the things we used to like do all them rap battles all over fucking DC. We would drive to Philly, New York, you know what I'm saying? Anywhere where there was a battle, we would drive with like all the time. And I opened up for like everybody was hot in the early 2000s. Like I did open up for T.I., Ludacris, Fabulous, you know, everybody who was like the shit back, even Kanye West before his first album came out. And I got signed to Sony Records, and I got dropped when they merged with BMG.
Damn.
But then I kind of lost my desire to want to. I saw like this what the music industry was like. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah.
Shit. So,
yeah, because you hear the crazy things.
I was like, I'm cool.
No,
I seen some.
Yeah, you hear the crazy things. What's the favorite watch? You know what I mean? Like in
my collection.
Yeah, you've definitely putting out videos and things like. I think you've highlighted some watches and things like that. But what's your favorite?
It's either this one, the RM29. Also, I also have a titanium offshore. It's like a limited edition, a Lingy Cup edition. They only made 1,000 of them. Yeah. And I like that one a lot. I wear that one probably more than this one. You know.
What's that one run?
That was like 30 grand.
Okay.
You know, and I mean, I like this one a lot too. But
what's this one run?
This one, when I got it was 200, but I bought it at the peak. You know, when watch that. So now you can probably get this for like 150 or maybe even less, depending on how the condition. You know. Would
you say in regard to splurges? I know you have percentages and things broken down, and that's when you'll spend on something. Would you say watches is like a go-to spend place for you, or is there something else you like to spend on too? That's as expensive per item.
As expensive per item, watches are probably the most expensive item I have. I'm gonna get a car this year. In fact, I'm gonna go look at it this weekend. I'm not gonna say what it is.
Can you hint? Is it like 2-door, 4-door?
It's 4-door.
All right.
It's an SUV.
Cadillac.
It's an Escalade.
It's Escalade.
Nah, it ain't an Escalade. You know.
Hey, some of those get kind of expensive. Those
they're fucking dope.
Bro.
I've been in some fucking. when I go to Atlanta, I get because that's where my son lives. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Because they moved down there after we were all in New York, but
Yeah.
during the pandemic, she moved down there to be closer to her family.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. I'll just fly. So I'm flying there like all the time. I'm
Yeah,
there
yeah,
all
yeah.
the time. And I ain't got a car there, so like when me and my son going on adventures, I just hire a driver.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they pick us up in Escalades, and
Yeah.
it's dope. And the driver drives us around all day.
Yeah,
So
that's sick.
Some of the Escalades is dope. But no, I'm gonna get something cool.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be tough. Where do you think $1 million?
It's gonna be more expensive than this watch. I would put it like that.
Okay, right. I'm excited to see that. Where do you think $1 million goes further right now? In New York or Miami?
Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York is expensive.
Crazy, right?
New York is expensive. I mean, New York has the most billionaires of any city in the world.
Yeah.
Including Dubai.
Like
Miami has the same amount of billionaires as Dubai. You can Google that. Yeah, anybody who thinks I'm wrong before you say it in the comments.
because I'm sitting here like trying to like
just
process.
Google it before you Google it, ask ChatGPT or some shit before you embarrass yourself in the comments. All right, Miami has the same amount of billionaires as Dubai, right? New York has the most amount of billionaires of any city in the world, right? New York's GDP is like New York is astronomical.
Stupid money.
I mean,
Yeah.
like people think Dubai has so much money, right?
Yeah.
Like the state of Florida's GDP is like more than double that the whole EAU's.
Wow.
The whole country's it's just there's a few motherfuckers with some money and they build a lot of
one
shit.
like
But
zip code.
there's like I'm just saying,
Yeah.
New York has the most
Does New York
GDP
have the
of any-
Hamptons?
It's not New York City, but it's New York State.
Okay, so that's up
Long
that way
Island.
because I know that's crazy money.
Yeah, it's like people don't. A lot of people with big cribs out there. They live in Manhattan, and they go out to the Hamptons. They have the other crib in the Hamptons. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like New York is Wall Street, man. Like
Yeah.
that's where the fucking most money in the world is.
Yeah.
You know, like people talk about Saudi Arabia and all that shit. Like they got bread for sure, but it's like.
So you don't
it's
believe
different.
there's like oil money where there's like trillionaires that already exist that just aren't.
I mean, maybe it's like
it's probably a family.
I don't think about it that much because that's not.
It ain't in your pockets.
And it's not some shit that any of us can mimic, right? If you inherit an oil field, that's not a fucking income generation strategy.
How to inherit an oil field?
Yeah, that we can mimic, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
it's like
facts.
it's just not applicable to any of us.
Yeah,
you know?
that's facts.
I mean, there is money, there's money out there, I mean, but the money, the oil is traded in U.S. dollars. Like, I mean, just tell you, man, there ain't nothing fucking with United States. And when we talk about cities with the most money in the United States, it's New York. Like, that's why it's the most expensive city.
You go up there still?
I haven't been in a while. I haven't been in a while. I just haven't had a reason to. Most of my friends moved, right?
Yeah.
Because I moved because state income tax.
Yeah.
It was like,
nuts.
oh shit, like my accountant said every $1 million you make, you're gonna have to give New York State $100,000. How long you want to do that? And I was like, nah, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm done. And then Manhattan has a tax too, so it's
Wow.
another like 2-3% on top of the New York State tax.
Yeah.
Right. So I gave myself a huge raise when I moved to Miami.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's why New York it won't go as far because off the rip you got to give $1 million. You got to give $100,000 to New York State.
Yeah.
And then another 2-3% to Manhattan's. If you live in the borough of Manhattan, you got to give another percentage to them. So it's like it's gonna go way farther here with no state income tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book of all time is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah, incredible book.
Yeah, man. It's ain't nothing. It's like just the foundation. They should teach it in high school.
Yeah, it's like almost like the Bible of like not just making money, but like being a good person, like a simplified version
just
of
be
like,
a good person. And it's just you can control people's emotions more than you think. Like this is something I learned in sales, and it's something I teach my salespeople. Like you can really control people's emotions based off how you present yourself. Like if I would have came in here all fucking mean and shit, it would have shifted the energy in here a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Or like if like a happy baby or a puppy runs in here, like you see people light up.
Yeah.
Or a bad bitch walking here, right? He's gonna the emotions are gonna change, right? So we all have more power over other people's emotions, like than we think, right? So if somebody yawns, then you might yawn. It's contagious. We have these things called mirror neurons, and they pick up other people's emotions. And that's important because the decisions people make are based off the emotions they feel when they make the decision, right?
Yeah.
So we've all done stuff that we regret because we were in a certain emotional state. Like we might have been sad. Maybe we were supposed to go to the gym and we didn't because we were sad, or maybe like we were super angry, fuck somebody up when we didn't really need to, or said something that we regretted. You know, it's if you can learn that book, it doesn't say that as much, but if you read it with that in mind, right? If you learn how to control other people's emotions, now you can control their decisions a little bit, right? If you know, you did sales. If you're doing sales, if somebody's in if they're not in a buying state, they're not gonna. You got to be able to change their state. Yeah. So I just tell my salespeople, you got to be head of state. You got to control the state everywhere you go, and you can't just do it on sales calls. It's got to be like a habit, right? So when you're meeting people, think how do you change his emotions? How can you leave this motherfucker happier than when you found him, right? And I it's like a habit to me. So if I'm meeting fucking waiters, you know what I'm saying? I gotta change that. I gotta change that waiter state a little bit, right? Fucking the chick at CVS, you know, how can I improve her state? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like little shit, but you do it all the time. People walk past somebody, yo, what's up, man? What's going on? Right? You know, hey, good seeing you. Like fucking security people in my building, and I make a game out of it. Like, can I change everyone's state who I interact with? And if you start doing it all the time, then it'll become second nature. So if I'm on a sales call and a motherfucker start touching himself, he's like, oh man, I was like, damn man, what happened to you, man? A minute ago you was all confident talking about what you wanted, man. Then now you got scared, man. What happened, bro? Make a joke out of it. You'll see the state change, they'll catch me like, yeah, I'm just saying, like, man, well listen, you know, what's going, you know, you can do things to change your state and put them back in a buying state. Yeah. You know? But it's got to be habit. You got to, you can't, it's not something you want to think about or turn on. So I just tell my salespeople, or even my students who I train, because they have to do sales to sell their online coaching. Yeah. Like you got to just always practice controlling people's state. And that book is one of the best tools on how to do that. Yeah.
1000%. Bro, so as we wrap up here, what's the vision for the future? Are you very detailed and calculated? Like we're doing this year, we're doing that this year, or are you just we're just very growth oriented? We're just gonna grow.
I don't like telling people my goals. Okay. Because I read when I was like 16, I read Malcolm X's autobiography, and the only part I really remember because it was so long ago, fucking 25 years ago.
Never let them know your next move.
Yeah, he's like, don't tell them what you're gonna do, because if you fail or change your mind, nobody knows, right? But if you always, you know that guy who's always saying what he's gonna do, and if he fails or changes his mind, now he looks stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
And it's cooler if you just do it.
Yeah, I relate to that a lot, because it's torn. I think in the entrepreneurial world is like people are like, you need to have a 5-year plan. I'm like, what if I just go real hard and grow and like in this general direction?
You can do that. I mean, I map out my shit like super. My shit is I like all my goals. I have them mapped out. I have like a Notion template, and then I have every step for every goal and a deadline for each step. Yeah. And then I take each steps and I put it in my calendar, like when I'm going to do it. Yeah. So it's like I'm super detailed with it. I mean, you change the plan as you get closer, right? But yeah, I'm super detailed about it. But it's usually not 5 years, because I don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. Like 5 years is too long.
Yeah. I'm trying to get this done in like.
It's just like you just don't know what's going to happen, man. Like 5 years ago, if I would have told you there would have been a pandemic, the whole country would have been locked down for something, you wouldn't believe that.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I told you that we were going to have this AI shit 5 years ago, it might have sounded like some Star Wars shit. You know?
Literally.
Like if I told you about ChatGPT 5 years ago, you know, or fucking some of the shit I seen, like some of these AI tools, like you wouldn't believe that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like shit like HeyGen or fucking Sora, or the new shit that just came out the other day from China. Not DeepSeek, it's a new shit. I forget the name, but it just came out. Like some of the shit is like, you wouldn't have believed it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what it's gonna be like 5 years from now. So I like to break my shit into 90-day increments, you know? Yeah. I got overarching like goals, but the plans are in 90-day increments.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fire. Hey man, well this is fire. We ripped almost an hour.
Nice.
Great conversation, flow. And where can people find you?
Oh man, you can find me at my Instagram is King Keto, KINGKETO. I got it'll be the one with it'll be the one with 1 million followers. You know, you don't want to get scammed by the other guys. And then some Indians making fake keto pages. You know, and then YouTube. You know, you can just search my name on YouTube, Brandon Carter. Confident some dope shit to come up, and those are my main platforms.
Let's go.
YouTube's the one with 1 million subscribers. Not, you know.
Did they send you a 1 million subscriber plaque?
Yeah.
What's that like?
That's cool, man. It's like, you know what's funny, man? It's like I had my video editor like years ago. I said, yo, take this picture of me and like Photoshop me holding that plaque. And I fucking printed that shit out and put it on my on my wall. Like some vision board shit. And that and with the ClickFunnels award for $10 million, you know, and I say, make me holding both of those. And I got both of those shits now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's solid. Yeah, that's solid.
So it's like
confidence.
It was more like, this was supposed to happen.
Yeah. Literally.
You know, I didn't even say, here's the thing. Just real quick. Any goal you have, there's things you have to do to accomplish those goals. Right? And if you map those things out and you track them, right? Like I track every one of them. And for example, if you had somebody had a weight loss goal, they want to lose 10 pounds. All right, cool, man. How long you want to do it? 10 weeks? All right, cool. All they had to do is be in a 500 calorie deficit, you know, every day for 7 days, right? They'll burn 3,500 calories. That equals 1 pound of fat, right? So it's like, just, okay, so now we know what the metrics are. All we have to do is look at those leading indicators, and then we'll know for certain he's going to accomplish it, right? Yeah. So when I hit 1 million, I remember when I crossed over 1 million, it was like, I remember I woke up, and my girl had woke up. She said, "Oh, you did it! You're over 1 million now." I was like, "Oh, cool, man." And I didn't feel compelled to like throw myself a party or no shit like that, because I was like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. Like, I've been looking at the metrics. It's just, it would have been unreasonable for it not to happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. Yeah. Yeah. As long as you look at the leading indicators, you know, you don't even have to look at the goal. Just make sure you're doing the things you're supposed to do every day. Control. Make today a victory. Yeah. If you have a victorious day, 7 days in a row, you got a victorious week. You do that for 4 weeks in a row, you got a victorious month. Yeah. 12 months of that, man, you got a fucking victorious year. So just focus on making today a victory and just do that every day. And then the goals will take care of themselves, man. That's fire. You know? Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Fire episode. Thank you for your time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's go. Peace. All right, peace.